What's good? Let's get some music.
They don't know you like I know you, baby. They can't love you like I can. They don't know you the way
What's
I know
good,
you.
everybody?
They will never understand.
She can love you like I can.
I know you, baby. They can't love you like I can.
What's
They
going
don't know you
on?
the way I know you. They will never understand.
She can love you like I can.
Let's
Like
go!
I can.
Like I can.
Like I can. They can do it like I can. Like I can. Hey, why you try to hide me? Try to hit me. Then became my enemy. Or a friend of me. You tried to deceive me. Don't know what to believe. Want you to win my heart and everything above. You're like the stars in the sky. You make me feel right. 'Cause I wanna feel you tonight. I want you to win my love. I want you to win my heart. I want you to win everything, everything above. I want you to win my love. I want you to win my heart. I want you to win the sky and the stars.
For everybody popping up, coming in. The reason why I'm talking to y'all today, the reason why we talking today is number one, I gotta show some honor and some reverence to my father. Today is his birthday. Rest in peace to an OG. Rest in peace to a king. And today's a very special day. So I decided that I would go very, very hard today with my social media, with my content on his behalf. Because I literally I went to his grave, and when I tell you that shit was not easy. I went to his grave today, and I thought I would be good. I thought I'd be cool. I thought I'd be like all right. I thought I'd be like good. You know, I thought I was cool. And then once I turned that corner and I saw his name on the, I just broke down into tears. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because that experience gave me wisdom to share with you. And that wisdom that it gave me, it was like, first of all, the first thing that I heard was just like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, you got to get on your shit. And it's like, I feel like I've been getting on my shit, but I ain't been getting on my shit. Does that make sense? I feel like I've been getting on my shit, but I ain't been getting on my shit. And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of y'all have ancestors that are relying on you. Real talk. Relying on you to get the job done. Relying on you to do what you supposed to do. Real talk. And I felt like when I walked up to his gravesite, like all I just could hear him saying is just like, you gotta get on it. You gotta get to it. And like, I've noticed that sometimes we can really take on other people's way of thinking. Sometimes we can really take on other people's way of thinking. And it's important that you differentiate your thoughts versus other people's thoughts. It's very important that you know when the thought that you're thinking is something that you created, or you're thinking a thought that somebody else created. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think I'm back. I think I'm back. I know I'm back. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like I have a destiny. I have something that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's important that I do it to its fullest capability, even if it seems obsessive. And sometimes death will do that to you. Death, when you see death in your life, it'll cause you to have some urgency. And sometimes you need to take a step back from things. And that's okay. But like, you know what I recognized, y'all? Like, I can't stop teaching even if I wanted to. Like, it's just in me. Like, I can't stop teaching even if I wanted to. Every time I talk, I can't stop. I can't. Now, do I think I should be making way more music? Yes. But I cannot stop teaching. I don't want you to call me a teacher. I'm an artist, a creative, a genius. You know, but if you see me as your teacher, it's whatever. Whatever you may label me as, at least you know. Like, I realize, like, I just gotta be me. And whatever comes out is whatever comes out. You feel me? And I just want to say thank y'all for being so patient with me with everything that's going on. But I'm about to really go crazy right now. Because seeing my dad's grave, I haven't seen my dad's grave in a while. I usually just go to my altar, but like today was like, something was like, you know, go to his grave. And I went to his grave. And when I tell you, like, my dad was a 33 life path. When I tell you, like, that thing woke me up, like, it woke me up. I even made a video crying at the gravesite because I wanted y'all to feel that raw energy. Like, I want y'all to know from this point on, I am giving y'all me. I'm giving y'all everything of me. Everything. Everything. So please, when I give you everything of me, love me, because I will love you. I will love you. I will give you my heart. Y'all are the only people that I can 100% give myself to, and I always see it coming back. I always see the love like regurgitated back. Y'all are actually raising me. Y'all have no clue. Y'all are raising me. And I realized that, like, my dad, when he had me, you said, what's my life path? I'll take a couple donations in a minute. But when my dad had me, you know, first of all, let me tell y'all something. I was so close to being aborted. Like, my mom already had the appointment set for me. Like, she was like, nah, like, she had the appointment set. She didn't tell my dad. And literally right before she was about to leave her job early, my dad showed up out of nowhere. She said he didn't know, but he had 33 life path. He probably felt it, right? And because he came to her job, she had to, you know, miss the appointment. He still didn't know. And I'm just like, wow, bro. Like, and when I was born, he kept saying, like, when I was in my mom's stomach, he kept saying, like, this child's special, this child's special, this child's special, this child's special, this child's special. And I'm just like, damn. The 33 was manifesting, you know, and I just want to say that, like, I want y'all to talk to me more. Y'all are my friends. Y'all are my family. Like, I want y'all to talk to me more. I want y'all to tell me, like, what y'all think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all think? Like, what songs do you like? What type of videos do you like? Do you like when I stream? What do you think I can do better? Help me to feed you. Help me. We should be having a relationship. Like, I don't want to be some influencers, some artists, like, I really want to lead the youth. That's what I want to do. I want to lead the youth. I want to help the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I need y'all help. I need y'all help. You know what I'm saying? Like, a couple people was telling me, I should do longer streams. My streams have been about like 2 hours at the most, 2 hours, 3 hours at the most. You said maybe get to the gaming screen and start giving readings and advice to the gaming space. That'd be fire. Let me write that down. See, I'm writing y'all ideas down because I want to feed y'all what y'all want. Give advice to gamers. Maybe that'll be the way that I can talk to the kids for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else do you guys want to see? Do you guys think that I should drop a song a week or a song every 2? Do you think I should be dropping music more frequently? Or do y'all like when I take my time? Like, tell me, what is it? What is it? Do y'all feel like what aspects of y'all do y'all feel like really inspires you? Is it the music? Is it the music and the speaking? Like, do you feel like you want to see me on live every day? Do you feel like you want to, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you want to talk to me? Because I'm here. I'm here. And I'm just so appreciative of all of y'all. And I feel like, the way that I can show my appreciation, daily lives, music, okay. The way that I can show my appreciation is by giving y'all what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I need a favor from y'all. The favor that I need from y'all is, you see that song, Like I Can? Y'all see that song, Like I Can? I need y'all to make TikToks to that song. I need y'all to go like them videos on my TikTok of just straight Like I Can, because that song is going to blow up. That song is going to blow up. I need y'all to completely go crazy. I need y'all to, like, when you go on other people's page, be like, yo, check out this song by Ori. It's called Like I Can. Styx River, Like I Can. Like, I want y'all to, like, I have to cultivate y'all. I have to teach y'all. I have to speaking is where is that you can make daily videos, long showing, you can attract an audience weekly. Listen, Listen, I don't want you to think about it like we need to figure out ideas for Ori to get more followers. That's not how I'm coming at this. That's not how I'm coming at this. I definitely think that I can do more talking videos, more vlogs and stuff like that. But when I'm coming to you like this, I want you to tell me, what do you want? Like, what would help you in your day-to-day? The right people will find me, because I'm not going to be for everyone. I'm only going to be for the people that's trying to evolve and elevate. And the people that are looking for community, people that are looking for a family, looking for friendship. For real. Like, I'm going to get so much more active with y'all. Like, I'm going to really start talking to y'all. Like, this is all, I'm going to dedicate myself. I've already been dedicating myself to this. But I'm going to, like, really dedicate myself to this on a different level where people are going to be like, bro, damn, do you ever get off your phone? Do you ever? No. Because I'm always talking to somebody who need my help. That's why. Period. You feel me? And it's just like, sometimes people get so wrapped up in what they want from people. Like, oh, I want more followers. I want more money. I want more. And it's like, bro, like, are you actually giving value to people? Or are you just getting what you want out of people? Man, I don't want to do that no more. Like, I don't want to feed into getting more followers. And that's all going to come. That's all going to come. All that's going to come as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You feel me? Like, the song, like, have y'all listened to the song? Like, for some of y'all, here's my thing. Do some of y'all even know the last song that I dropped? Do some of y'all even know the last song that I dropped? If you don't know the last song that I dropped, then I gotta put you on the game. The last song that I dropped was 6. Now, this isn't more videos on you being real, like how you were with the XX. You could do it for, like, the books. George, I don't think you getting it. So the last song that I dropped is 6. Okay? So the reason why I'm telling you about this, hold on. So the reason why I'm telling you about this is because this song right here, just so y'all can understand what I'm doing. This song right here is for every single person who has felt like they've been giving love to other people and have not been receiving it back. That's what this song is about. I don't make songs for clout, or I don't make songs for like, oh, this is going to be a TikTok hit. I don't do that. Everything that I make is real, to the core, to the bone. You feel me? So if you are a person where you constantly feel like you giving love to people and they don't give it back to you, listen to this song and tell me, do you feel the heart in it? And 6, so let me give you a little thing. 6 is the number of love. 6 is the number of home. 6 is the number of family. 6 is the number of the giver. 6 is the number of support. So that's why I named the song 6. 6 is the number of the martyr. People who always are slaving themselves for other people. And I've been there before. I've slaved myself for other people before. You know what I'm saying? And I want to let y'all know that I produced this whole song by myself. I use, let me show y'all something real quick. So let me show y'all. So I actually used an OG drum machine. This is what Kanye West used to use in a lot of his old beats, right? I played the guitar on it, and then I also used that keytar back there. All right. So as you can see, this beat wasn't a beat I just clicked in and I just was, you know what I'm saying? Like this beat, I played the piano, I strummed the guitar, I hit the drums in. This wasn't just a digital beat. You get what I'm saying? So check it out. You said 6 was something.
Keeping it honest. Have you had enough? Have you had enough? When you give your love, it's not always coming back. They might actually stab your back. There ain't no running back. You gotta stay just where you at. If they gon' lie, then they will.
Feel it.
They cheatin', they lying, they steal. But you gotta climb that hill. If your feels, better feel your feels. If they gon' lie, then they will. They cheat and they lie and they steal. But you gotta climb that hill. Don't you fight your fears.
Tell me what you think. Do you feel it? I created this from scratch.
Happened to your heart? What happened from the start? 'Cause you just gotta find your fears.
Hold on. We're gonna have a switch, right? Ready? Production, man. Come on.
And I'm really tired of feeling pain. I just really wanna walk away. But God just told me gotta keep my faith. People really hide and masquerade. So you gotta go and leap away. Because you really need your witness day. Don't give if you got.
So, now to get back on point to what I was talking about. Thank you for the follow or the subscribe, whatever that was. So, now to get back to my point. You guys know what that feels like to give your love to someone and to feel like you didn't even get it back. You know what it feels like to give someone your all and to not get it back. You know what that feels like. And that's why I put it in that song, because us as big-hearted people, we deal with this a lot. We deal a lot with us wanting to help people and heal people that we end up hurting ourselves. Like, you have nobody to blame but yourself for that, for real. And the reason why is because nobody told you to give that much to people. Nobody told you to give that much to people. What is this? Nobody told you to give that much to people, but you decided you wanted to give that much to people. And that's why we have to learn how much and when and like what to give people, because we shouldn't be giving people everything. The only thing and the only people that should be getting everything from you is your purpose and your craft. Real talk. Your purpose and your craft. Not people that you want to love you. And sometimes I fear that we fail to do that. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix something. My little thing messed up. I fear that we do that a lot sometimes, that we are seeking love. So we think that if we give someone everything of us, that they'll love us. But that's not how things go. That's not how things go. So another song that I just dropped recently that y'all probably don't know about is, what is it? Light versus Dark. So I have a song called Light versus Dark. Now this song, real quick, let me explain this to you. Now this song, Light versus Dark, this song is about, you have to know how to maneuver. You can't be feeding into your darkness. You can't be feeding into your darkness unless you're using it for the right things. For example, to protect you. And you should know how to use your light. So listen to the song.
'Cause baby, it's us. They wanna tear us apart, but you gotta trust your gut.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Y'all hear this?
Like baby, what's the cause? 'Cause baby, what's the cause? I'm catching up with boys. Catching up with boys. They gon' try to tear us apart.
Darkness.
Baby, are you feeling high? Are you feeling high? Feeling faded tonight. I'm feeling faded tonight. Baby, when you lost it, I'm the magic in the box tonight. I'm the reason that you're seeing the light. I wouldn't try crossing me. You play with the devil. I'll bury you with the shovel. Going 6 feet deep. When you lost it, baby, when you lost it, flex it with my eyes. Flex it with my eyes. Playing with the devil. Bury you with a shovel. When you look at me.
So, now what people got to understand here is, number one, I knew I had to get a message out, but I had to do it in a way where it's like you almost don't know there's a message. You get what I'm saying? Like, I had to make the song in a way where it wasn't too like, oh, she preaching on this one. But it's like, she's speaking something, but hold on. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I feel like you should be able to also have fun to it, too. You should be able to, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't got to be all preachy all the time. Like, some things can be fun also. Some music can be fun. I'm trying to see what other. Those are the last two songs that I've dropped, singles that I've dropped recently. So yeah, man. Honestly, like, it's so much on my mind. Thank you, Star. Thank you. It's so much on my mind. All I could really think about is just like, man, like, what do y'all think is stopping y'all from doing what you supposed to do at an obsessive level? Like, I feel like people were in my way. I feel like, you know, when you decide that you're going to take something like very, very, very serious, sometimes people can get in your way because they want access to you. They want your time. But it's like your time has to go to your craft. You know, it's like, dang, bro, you not going to hang out with us? No. You know, like, I don't know. Just as of lately, I haven't even been wanting to really, like, chat with people. Because it's just like, if you're not on what I'm on, or you're not trying to do what I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's nothing for us to really talk about. You just finna be a distraction. You just gonna, like, I can't even talk to you about some of the things I really want to talk about. That made me want to put on some Kobe. That made me want to put on some Kobe, Mamba mentality. That's what that made me want to put on. Mamba mentality.
The Mamba mentality.
40 minutes, nah, bro. Well, actually, let's listen. Let's watch it.
Simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day you're trying to become better.
When you have a dream, the one thing you have to watch out for are those out there that'll try to crush your dream.
I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me.
That's good.
Wow.
The Black Mamba strikes again. One of the NBA's all-time greats. And Bryant, there it is.
Job's not finished. Job finished? Well, I don't think so. If we want to get to that elite level, we really have to put in the work day in and day out.
This man played with a broken finger and won a championship.
I play games with the flu. I play games with 102-degree fever, man.
Bryant has not sat tonight. He is literally on his last leg right now.
When the game is more important than the injury itself, you don't feel that damn injury.
Wow.
Every time I step on a basketball court, I'm going to put a strong effort out there on the floor. I'm not going to leave anything on the floor.
Mental toughness that you need to get in there and get the job done.
Are you getting better every single day? That's the question. The key factor for me wasn't whether or not I was ready. It was the fact that if I wasn't ready, I was determined to figure out how to get ready. At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today?
So I challenge you to have your dream, go after it with all you have, and be legendary in your own right.
My name is Kobe Bryant.
Don't you ever forget it.
It's a great feeling to know that you set a goal and you were able to reach that goal and to knock it down.
Mm-hmm. I like stuff like that. Stuff to help you remember. Stuff to help you remember what you're supposed to be doing.
You got the surgery guy.
Okay. But I don't really be liking like the super motivational music because it made me feel like, I don't know. That's why sometimes I like to just hear them talk. Because the motivation made me feel like, I don't know. Let's see.
The #1 sports.
Are we going to watch Guyver again? I don't know if today I will, but definitely we'll watch the second episode.
And tell them how to behave versus teaching them how to behave. And so that's why I'm creating these stories and creating this content.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so true. When you treat people as kids, then they always be kids.
Right.
Even when they grow up.
Yeah.
And for you, it was really powerful because you've talked about this before where your father said to you, like, whether you score 0 or 60,
Yeah.
like, I love you.
Yeah.
Tell me what that statement meant to you at that time and how did it actually motivate you to continue scoring 60 rather than go, oh, I'm all right at 0?
Well, it did more than that, right? So like the basketball stuff speaks for itself in terms of what that comment did for me in terms of giving me stability and giving me confidence to say, okay, it's okay to fail because you're going to be loved no matter what. And that doesn't just mean basketball. It means anything in life. Yeah, that means writing. That means being an entrepreneur. That means having the confidence to go for it. And I've seen too many parents do the exact opposite. And it terrifies children. And children become paralyzed by their own fear because they don't have that security blanket of love and comfort.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you been able to, in your life, see past the cloud of emotion to actually execute on things? Because I think what we were speaking about earlier, this challenge that young people have today, everyone has today, of just so much information, so much cloud of emotion, so many feelings, so much childhood baggage that you're bringing. Like, how have you always cut through that and execute on that?
You know, what I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion.
Yep.
You know, a lot of times I've seen players, even myself, you know, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, nah, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in this situation. Like, nah. And it does nothing but grow. Versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. Well, what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that, because what you're saying is that when you're dealing with something, it's almost like, how can I get to the root of it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes what we're dealing with, like you're saying, it's an imagination, an illusion. It's not really...
It's not really a thing, you know? Like you think about game-winning shots or game-winning free throws, and people go to the free throw line and they're nervous about it. Well, what are you really nervous about? If you unpack that, okay, you're nervous that you're going to miss the shot. All right, so you miss the shot, then what happens? People are going to be embarrassed. You're going to be embarrassed because thousands of people, millions of people see you miss the shot. All right, and then what? People are going to talk bad about you. Okay. Right. And so you're looking at it and you go, are those things even important? You know what I mean? If that is my fear, like what is, you worried about letting your teammates down? Okay. Have you let them down before? Oh, I'm sure. In practice and things of that nature, right? They're still there.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you're able to unpack it, you kind of look at it for what it is, which is really nothing.
Yeah. I love that. Breaking it down. I think that's so important. I think everyone who's listening or watching right now, next time you're facing a fear, next time you're going against something, do that. Like literally unpack it. Don't just settle for your first answer, because the first answer is rarely the right one.
Don't hide from it. You know, you got to be able to look at it and, you know, and deal with it head on.
Yeah. I love that, man. And you talk about that because you talk about, you know, when you talk about missing 5 throws and you talk about getting over yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
man, let me tell you something. This right here is what I need. For real, for real. These type of conversations, I need these daily, bro. Like, you know what? I'm finna start writing this stuff down. So what we gonna do is my Twitch lives are going to definitely like we're gonna call it like mental alchemy. These type of lives, when we listen to shit like this is like mental alchemy. We're listening to things to better ourselves. Like, you know, so, okay, hold on real quick. So I want to ask y'all a question. Okay. I want to ask y'all a question. And don't think about it just like what you need. Like, just think about it real life, right? If I wanted to bring more people to learn from me and to receive wisdom from me, don't you think that there should be a balance of kind of doing what's trending and then innovating at the same time? Or doing what works already and also innovating at the same time? Because, I mean, when we look at Kobe Bryant took what was already working and then added to it, right? Right? I'm asking. Let me know what y'all think.
Getting over yourself. How did you get that mentality of just being like, I need to get over this. Like, I need to get over myself.
You know, trial and error. You grow up and you make game-winning shots and it's awesome. You come back the next day and miss a game-winning shot and it's misery. And then the next day comes and you're back playing again. And you understand that life has this cyclical nature where it's, what you do on Monday,
What's up,
it's
Precious?
fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? Versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a
Law of
journey of
neutrality.
evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Yeah. And we all get obsessed about the results.
Yeah.
Like we get obsessed about like the output,
Yeah.
not the input, of not figuring it out and not like changing things. What you said, trial and error, like the experimenting.
Yeah.
We forget to do that.
It's unfortunate, man. Like I've seen a lot of players, especially now, in youth basketball, dealing with that. You have players that are like bigger and faster and stronger, and their coaches are just coaching them for results. We're just going to use your size because you're bigger than every other 12-year-old out there to dominate today. But they're not growing, right? So they're just based on that result, but they're not focused on growing this young child into becoming a better athlete. And through that, teaching them how to become a more well-rounded person. And we're missing that.
Yeah. See what you've said there, I want to ask you this, and I'm not saying because you know yourself best and you know how you've got there. So I'm asking it from a place of humility, of learning. When I look at you, I'm like, your superpower isn't just your work ethic. Your superpower isn't just like figuring things out. Your superpower is like you think strategically. Like that's a very strategic thought of saying this person could be this in the future if they were developed as a whole individual, rather than just like, let's use them for the short term.
Right.
Like, where did you develop that from, that ability to see beyond, to think deeper, to reflect deeper? Where did that come from?
11.
Well, I had to do that because, I growing up in Italy, when I first moved over there, it was, I didn't speak Italian. I didn't have any friends. I had the game of basketball, and through sport and playing soccer, I was able to make friends and build connections. But it was a lot of time spent alone. And when I came back to the States, I wasn't the most athletic kid. I was really scrawny, like really, really skinny, and had like major knee issues because I was growing. So I was the dorky kid with high socks and big old knee pads.
It's fashionable now.
It's fashionable now. It wasn't then. It wasn't then. And so I had to look long term. Because in the here and now, I couldn't compete with these kids. I mean, there was kids that were like 12 years old with beards. Like, I can't, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, they're doing windmills and dunking backwards, and I'm happy to like tap the backboard, So I had to look at it from a long term because I wasn't going to give up on the game.
Right.
So I had to say, okay, this year, I'm going to get better at that. Next year, this, and then so forth and so on. And then patiently, I was able to catch them.
Yeah. I love hearing that. Because I think so many of us you believe like when you see people like yourself, it's like, it's so easy as an excuse to ourselves to just be, oh, you're destined for it, right? You were made for it. It's kind of like that kind of, oh yeah, it's, but when you talk about saying, oh, actually, when I started, I didn't have the physicality that meant that I was going to make it. Like you had to figure it out. And I love it.
Figure it out, man. It's just piece by piece, and it's the consistency of the work, which I feel like a lot of parents are missing today because we're not teaching that to our kids. We tend to say like kids don't want to do the work, but in reality, it's when we're failing them because we're not leading them the right way and teaching them, how to fish. You know what I mean? And so like the consistency of work, Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
Yeah. I think it was Bill Gates who was talking about that. He talks about how like we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years.
No doubt.
Right? Like it's like that,
No doubt.
I think everyone thinks about it, like, what can I do right now? Like, how can I make it happen? But like with you, I think people always ask you also like, how do you deal with losing or failure? What I'm intrigued by is how someone like you deals with winning. Because you've won again and again. And like I was saying earlier, you won, obviously we know you won in basketball big as an athlete, but you're winning now, even in the work you're doing here as a storyteller, as a producer, right? Yeah. It's amazing to see so many incredible awards coming through. How have you dealt with winning? Like when you win, what goes through your mind to help you to continue winning?
Well, it's a little different. Like in basketball, it was different because I expected to win. Like I expected us to win championships. I expected us to win 5. Quite honestly, I expected us to win 8. And so when you have that vision in sports, it's a direct competition. Like I know how hard they're working. I know how hard we're working. I know what their strategy is. I know what ours is, So it's a little different. So when we went in the NBA, it was like, yeah, we expected to do that. but now we're going to come back and we're going to do it again, you know? And so it's that constant, like, all right, you're churning. You win one championship, I'm back in the gym the next day, working, getting ready for the next one. Now, it's different because it's not about the awards. You know, you just wind up trying to create something that's going to inspire someone that hopefully, you know, through that inspiration, they can inspire somebody else. And what I've come to learn as my career went on is that's more significant than any championship. Is how do you connect with somebody that can then connect with another? And then whether the awards come or not, you know, that's for, you know, the Academy Award body to decide. Yeah. But, you know, like for us, it's just to try to create things.
Yeah. Well, I guess now that's what shifted, that now the intention isn't even expecting to win, it's expecting to change lives. Right? Like your content is really about making a difference and an impact on young people's lives.
Sure.
Which I think is like the biggest way of winning.
I think so. I mean, you know, you're looking at 62% of young children are dropping out of sports. 62%. And they cite the fact that it's not fun anymore. But what does that tell them? I mean, that's telling us as grown-ups are getting in the way. Get out the way. Let these kids be imaginative, which, you know, like in our stories, it's important that, yeah, there's a fantasy nature to it, right? But it's rooted in reality, right? When we have fire-breathing winged horses and things of that nature, those are actual drills that are taking place. We don't have fire-breathing winged horses actually performing that, but we do have ball machines that are spitting balls at tennis players, right? And so all of our stories are all anchored in an element of truth, so that children feel like when they are doing these drills with these ball machines, they can envision maybe it's a fire-breathing winged horse.
Yeah, to keep them excited.
Yeah, they can envision Gus throwing fireballs at them.
Yeah.
And even the plays, like when in the Wizenard series, when the basket is opening up and shrinking, these are things that we experience as athletes. Like some days I feel like I can't make a shot, man, and the basket feels like the size of a keyhole. Yeah. You know? And other days it looks like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's magic. And so we root our magic in reality so that when kids experience these things, particularly the failure side of it, they can connect it to one of our stories and say, okay, I've seen this before. I know how to deal with this.
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. I love that. That analogy of like feeling the basket bigger or smaller and like being able to vision that. I can vision it right now. And like, yeah, you're so right. Like some days it looks huge. And I love that. That's such a great way of thinking about it. And I guess so much of this is from your real life vision.
Oh, yeah.
This is like some days.
I've experienced it.
Yeah. But I love that because it's also giving them the permission to say like, be imaginative about this, right?
Yes.
And that obviously gives so much. I think when we imagine.
Listen, I ain't trying to judge or nobody, but it's like, you got Kobe Bryant on your podcast. You couldn't get a haircut, bro, out of respect for Kobe. You couldn't come up, you couldn't come like looking like dappers for Kobe Bryant. You couldn't get a haircut for Kobe Bryant.
When we imagine, it changes the reality of, oh, I'm just sitting out here taking shots.
Yes.
Right? Which can get boring and tiring.
Becomes mechanical.
Mechanical, that's the right word.
Mechanical. Yeah. Like our job is to try to inspire the creativity inside of our children.
Am I wrong
so
for
that they can think through how to problem solve situations. So like, you know, when I coach my daughter's team.
If I had Kobe coming to my house, bitch. Like if I had Kobe Bryant coming to my house, I'll make sure like I don't give a fuck, I gotta get that thing done right before. I'm gonna make sure I look good for Kobe.
It's not about giving them answers. It's about asking them questions and getting them to process things. Right? When the game is being played, I'm not sitting there giving them answers or barking out things on the sideline. I sit down and I'm quiet. My assistant coach sits there and she's quiet. And the kids figure things out for themselves, or they don't. And then they come back and there's always questions. And then you kind of ask them more questions and you help them figure it out. But then you see their level of excitement to practice every day increase because it's a process that they are owning.
Exactly.
Right? They're not coming to get orders barked at them every day.
Exactly.
They're coming for kind of their personal quest to get better.
Yeah. And how do your daughters feel about you coaching?
Nah, it's not even about like public appearance matters on your appearance matters on public platform. It's just coming groomed at your highest level. It's a sign of respect. Like it's just a sign of respect for people. It's like when think about it. Imagine you go on a date with a girl, right? And she come looking like crusty. You gonna feel like, oh, she don't like me. She don't really got no respect for me. She don't really care about me, right? Because you know that if she cared about it, she would get glammed up. Like, come on, man, let's be for real.
Yes, that style makes them feel comfortable. But how have you been able to manage that with the pressure of you being there?
No, it's no pressure because, you know, it's their process to own. Like I have knowledge, information that I've gained, you know, through playing. So like the little details of things I can teach at a high level. But ultimately it's them.
Yeah, you seem very still and detached about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, the kids love playing basketball, and so that's the anchor of it all. They come and they play and they learn and they have fun, and you know, and they compete, and you know, they challenge themselves and one another. And
The bro said, "Damned if you do, damned if you don't." Shut up. Because if he did, I wouldn't mention it.
You know, they just get better every day.
Yeah. How have you seen that with Legacy and the Queen? You chose tennis.
Yeah.
Like what was the choice of sports about? I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Why tennis?
Yeah. So like the first novel we did was the Wizenard series. It was important for that to be basketball because I wanted the first story to be one of empathy and compassion. And in team sports, if you don't have that, you can't win. Right. And so it was important to tell the tale of a basketball team dealing with their own personal fears, and have those fears and insecurities lead to empathy and compassion for others, right? And with the second story, I wanted to look more internal, individually, and look at how do you deal with the inner challenges, the kind of the self-negotiation that takes place inside of our own heads.
August 23rd?
And there was no sport better than that than tennis. There's golf, but tennis, you have more movement, which to me symbolizes life in general, because there's a lot going on. Right? There's the elements in tennis that you have to deal with as you deal with in golf, maybe not to the same extent, but they're still there. And then there's the confrontation with the person across the net from you.
Yes.
Right? As well as the strengths and weaknesses in your own movements and how you feel in your own body. And because of that, it was important for this story to be a tennis story.
I love that. That makes complete sense. And give me an example of that self-negotiation. I love that word, and I get that. Can you expand on that a bit?
Like, you know, you're out running on a track, working out.
All right. I think what would give me more of what I'm looking for is Tim Grover, his trainer. Tim Grover is that nigga. Which one do I want to?
Past wins, their past successes. These individuals, they've all.
If you compete at anything, sports or business or life, you need this book. No one knows more than Tim Grover about competitive intensity, killer instinct, and crushing the other guy. He is the best at what he does, creating champions. And Michael Jordan called him the asshole. Not an asshole, he called him the asshole, which he took it as a compliment, so I can say it to him because he said that's a compliment. And having said that, he owns a record. He holds a record on by Tim, and I don't know if you're aware of this record or not. You held this record for a couple of years.
But just for a couple of years.
Just for a couple of years. I'm going to tell you this. You held the record for the most F-bombs ever dropped in an interview.
Yes.
We counted it. I think the numbers you were counting is like 72, whatever the number was. Your record was broken by Sammy DeBoer Gravano. He beat you because it was a longer interview. We had only an hour. He had 2.5 hours, so if we put the optics together, I think you guys are very close to each other. But it's good to have you on, buddy. Really good to have you on.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you.
It's Kobe Bryant's trainer, Michael Jordan's trainer.
And I know you were telling me this is your first live interview you're doing for the book launch, which we are very, very excited about. I know you know I'm a big student of your previous book, that Relentless, just a fantastic book. We had the entire company read it.
Look. This is what Kobe said. Tim Grover knows more than anyone about the mental side of sports. This book is the blueprint for discovering what you are capable of achieving, getting results you never imagined, reaching the highest level of success, then going even higher. That's big from Kobe.
Complete different direction. Excited to get into it. I got a lot of questions for you, but before we get into the questions, in your mind, give me the difference between the book Relentless and the biggest difference between this book that you wrote that's coming out on May 18th.
Relentless was a mindset. It was a mindset. It was just like what I was talking about with the other individuals that I dealt with, how they thought, how they went through different processes to get that end result.
Relentless.
Winning is in all of us. We all want to win. But the path people take to get to winning, everybody wants the end result, and they want to feel the sugar and the confetti and all that other stuff. But what you have to endure to win, no one wants to talk about. And that's what really winning is about, because you spend more time enduring it and being in and not in a good place. And I wanted to bring it out and say, hey, no matter what you do in life, where you're at, this is what winning takes. And it's in all of us. It's in all of us. You find wins every single
I love this.
day.
Oh, I love this shit.
And when you find that win every single day.
I ain't gonna lie. I know y'all watching this with me, but like, for real talk, I put this on for me. You know, but y'all here, and if I was y'all, I would take some fucking notes, especially if you know that you're trying to be great at what you do. Like, that's why I say sometimes my lives may not be the most popular content out, but it's gonna fucking get you fed. It's gonna get you where you need to be.
You can get closer to whatever winning means to you. So winning is in all of us. Relentless was more of a mindset. This is about going out and actually achieving that mindset and getting what you want.
For what matters to the person, or is it more capacity? Meaning, you meet somebody where you say, this guy's got a big upset, man. That guy can really kill it. Oh my gosh. And then he says, Tim, I just want to be an all-star. I'm good with that, man. I don't care to win a championship. I don't care to be on Mount Rushmore. I don't care to be one of the greatest of all. If I never make it in the Hall of Fame, I'm going to live a happy life. I'm going to be totally okay with it. So is winning to you the individual's level of success they want to have, or is winning to you somebody that goes out there and says, I want to find out what my best version looks like. I want to find out what my capacity looks like. How do you judge it?
It's by the capacity.
Okay.
It's always a capacity. If you don't, people, they look at winning and finishing as the same. Those individuals that you're talking about, they're just looking to finish. They're just looking to finish their career. They're like, okay, this is what I got, this nice house. I'm finished over here. I made the NBA or made the NFL. That's finishing. And a lot of people to that, they're like, they feel like if they finish, they've won. These individuals, it's a completely different level. So you have individuals that go out and run marathons. If you compete at the highest level and you're a person that just runs marathon, the chances of you winning that marathon are pretty much zero. But you're going to finish that marathon. But being able to finish that marathon puts you in a mindset to win at something else. So there's always what's next? What's the next thing that's going on? We talk about what Kobe, one of his biggest lines is, don't rest in the middle, rest at the end. Winners rest at the end. When you talk about people that just want to finish, just what you said, they rest in the middle.
For the longest time, people ask the question, what's success to you? What's when those questions, what's the key to success? The key to success. And I've heard a million different things, marry the right person, faith, hard work, save money, make money, read books, all this stuff that we hear from a bunch of different people. To me, it was alignment where, your values and principles match the lifestyle you're living. So, and not worrying about what others think about you. But for you, you spend a lot of time around Mike, MJ, and you spend a lot of time around Kobe. You've spent a lot of time around a lot of other guys, Dwayne, Pat Riley, whether it's Barkley, you've spent a lot of time around these guys. But if Mike's sitting right here and we ask Kobe, okay, what's the definition of success to those two guys? What would you say their answers would be?
Well, in the book, Kobe said, winning is everything.
Winning is everything.
It's everything. All right? And you sit here and if you talk to Mike, whatever Kobe would say, Mike would have to one-up him. Because there's still, the competition never stops. It's always about what's next, what can I win more at? Both those individuals, obviously Kobe's not with us anymore, but both those individuals.
How the fuck do you one-up everything?
The competition and the desire and the feeling of winning, even though they were done with playing, manifested into something else. MJ, the most successful sneaker brand out there. All right. Owning a team, tequila business, in the sports gambling business. He's in all those things.
Yeah, fact.
He's in all those things. All right. So the competition never stops. With Kobe, it was like, I'm going to win an Oscar. Go out and win an Oscar. Writing children's book. He literally, wholesome. His goal, his plan was to take over Hollywood. He was like, I owned LA on the basketball court, and now I want to own LA. He wanted to take, that was his winning thing. Take the basketball out of it. Everyone knows I own LA on the basketball court. And we talked about this. He goes, own LA. Own LA. And if you look at the paths he was going through, that's what he was doing. That was his next definition of winning.
I wouldn't bet against the guy. No. I would not bet against the guy. When we had him over at the event, and I gave him a couple gifts. I gave him a script. I think, by Star Wars, and it was signed. It was the original script, and he was fascinated about that. Like when we were having a conversation in the back, all he was talking about was storytelling. It was like an obsession that he had. So here's a different question for you. So the feeling of winning, obviously, is 1,000,000 times better than you think it's going to feel like.
Yes.
It's just a ridiculous feeling that you go there. Movies do very well because in the storyline, somebody ends up winning. And the audience comes and says, oh my gosh, what a great underdog story. I love this movie, Pursuit of Happiness. I love watching, Invincible. The guy ends up playing for, the Jets, a regular bartender guy. I love watching this guy winning. I love watching all these different things.
I think he played for the Eagles.
Eagles, you're right. Yes. Philadelphia, that's right. I said Jets. The story's about the city of Philadelphia. You're right. So you see all these different movies do well because we see somebody winning, right? We see somebody winning. Why don't most people subscribe to wanting to find out what their capacity looks like and go at the highest level? They enjoy the story, but why don't they want to commit to it?
Because they rather participate.
Why
they want to just participate. They want to participate in somebody else's win.
Wow.
Because that's where their euphoria comes from. Because they want to see what
when he just said that, it made me think of Kai Cenat. This is why it should be easy. When I say easy, I mean like easy for you to be great, because it's like most people would rather participate in your greatness than to have their own.
They know what winning feels like, but what it takes to go down that unforgiving race to winning, they don't want to do because it's just too hard. So they rather stay in the middle. They rather stay because that's where majority of the comfort is. It's in the middle. Everybody wants to be seen until it's time to be seen. Winning, in order to win, you have to be seen. And once everyone can see you, you become a target. You become a target. So everyone has their perception of winning as this glorious thing. And it is. But the book talks about everything that goes along that path and what winning will bring you. And it's not always what you anticipate to be. You can look at yourself. Yeah. You can look at myself. You can look at any successful person. Any person that's going for more wins, that's going for their full potential. And they sit back and you have times and you're just like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then it may hit you for a split second. But then you become, I know exactly why I'm doing this. Those other people, when they say, why am I doing this? That why wins. With the people that continue to win, that why doesn't exist. Like, I know why I'm doing this.
So do you think those who say, well, I don't know if it's something worth me paying the price, is it the fear of the criticism? Do they know that they're going to get that kind of criticism, or they don't know that? It's just, I don't think it's worth me paying the price to get this, because what if it doesn't work out, and what if I can't do it? Is it a belief thing? Is it they don't have the level of obsession? Is it they don't have the chip? Is it they
what
don't
is
have
it?
the point to want to prove to somebody? What would you point at?
It's all of the above.
Okay.
All of
got
the
it.
above.
It's all the above. See, what everybody's trying to figure out, what's the, you get this question all the time. I get this all. What's the one thing? Boy, I wish it was that simple. That's the one thing. So everybody, what's the one thing to success? What's the one thing to your success? What's the one thing to making it? What's the one thing to winning? Man, if it was that easy, everybody'd be doing it. You know, people, they have, everyone has, and this drives me crazy. This drives me absolutely crazy. And I was told by another individual that the one thing I have to do in my teachings is I have to do steps. I have to do steps. I have to give people 5 steps, 10 steps, so forth. And I'm not a step person. I'm just not. It's not something that's worked for me. It's not something that's worked for the individuals. I know it simplifies things and helps people out. But when you look at the road to winning, people look at you and they're like, you're a success. All right? But your road has so many more steps. Those steps are infinite. Sometimes you get to see them. Sometimes you don't.
That's fast.
Sometimes they're there. Other times they're wobbly. And you don't know if that next step is going to be there, but you have enough belief in yourself to say, I know it's there. I'm going to take that step. I may miss the step. I may fall. I may get scraped. That step may go into quicksand, but I know there's another step. I know it. I believe inside me that there's another step that I have to take, that somebody else isn't making me take. And you continue to take those. Those steps are infinite.
Yep.
Winning is infinite. Those steps are infinite, and people don't want to continue to take those steps. I don't care what kind of shape an individual's in. The greatest athletes, all right, as much training as they ever do, if you've ever had to run up a flight of steps, it's hard. It's extremely difficult. All right. So when people say there's 10 easy steps, or there's 5 steps of greatness, or this,
of course.
Those steps to me are infinite. And even when you put that plan out there, people aren't willing to even take those 5 steps.
That's a good point. Tim, reading, so intuition for you. You've trained the best of the best in the game of basketball. What signs do you get? I guess the question for me would be, even prior to Michael becoming Michael, or Kobe becoming Michael, or Kobe becoming Kobe, when you're training somebody, what signs does somebody give you to say, this guy is potentially a guy that could be a guy at that level? And at that level, I mean, these guys have made it at the highest level of a game. It's not like they're not they're the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So you're talking about whoever is in the NBA today, they're a Hollywood celebrity on the high school campus. Everyone on college campus knows them. Then you go into the NBA, like, oh shit, I'm a bench warmer, I'm coming up, then it's all-star, then it's this, then it's that. What signs do you see where you say, this guy's different? There's something about this guy that's different. There's something about her that's different. What are those signs that you see that you said there's a very distinct difference between this guy and that guy? He's just as talented. She's just as talented, but there's something very weird and different about his personality. What are some of those things?
If you just pay attention to the details, those distinctions are easy to see. All right. Everybody talks about working hard, showing up early, showing up late, doing all. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. It's the mannerisms of the way they carry themselves. It's the way they compete. It's the way they listen. It's the way they absorb information, how coachable they are. The one thing all my athletes in business, in sports, the best of the best are so coachable. They listen. They listen. They absorb the information. They pay attention. They're there. They're willing. They want that information, and they know the difference between false information and information that can actually work for them. Kobe had with the first interview they did with Kobe, when they said, "Oh, you hired Tim Grover, you hired MJ guy." what do you think about him? He goes, he ain't done shit for me yet. I don't know. He's like, yeah, he did great things for MJ and he's done great things for other things. He ain't done nothing for me.
Right
I don't know.
Setting the tone.
Setting the tone right there.
How did you process that when you heard that?
Oh, I wouldn't expect anything else. I didn't do anything for him.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. And too many people look at the history of what they've done in the past. They look at their past wins, their past successes. These individuals, they've always when you look at that competitive person, you can always see. With Kobe, I saw it very early when in the playoffs against Utah when he shot all those air balls. At that, he was 17? He came in the league at 17, so he was like 18 or 19 when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For most individuals, that would have just totally killed their confidence. How did he came in the league at 17, so he was like 18 or 19 when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For most individuals, that would have just totally killed their confidence. How did he come back? How did he handle it? So he was like 18 or 19 when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For most individuals, that would have just totally killed their confidence.
Tim, I'm paying attention to the details. Tim, did you just fart? I'm paying attention to the details. Did you just fart, my nigga?
How did he come back? How did he handle it? Did he run from the adversity? Did he run from the media? What did he do? No, he came back and owned what he did and says, I'm coming back for more. I'm coming back for more. For MJ, it was just never forgetting that he got cut from the varsity team when he tried out as a sophomore. And there's another story that, people don't know. Few people know this. So everyone told him, don't go to North Carolina. So he says, no, I'm going because you're never going to play. You're going to be on the bench. So he goes to North Carolina. And I'm pretty sure Buzz Peterson was the number one ranked player in high school that year, and he also went to North Carolina. So Dean Smith comes in, and he makes them roommates, and Dean was like, he goes, Michael, I want you to meet Buzz Peterson. Buzz Peterson is the number one ranked player last year in high school as a number one recruit. And Michael first thing goes to Dean, he goes, he ain't never played me. How can he be number one?
Now, let me ask you, when Dean did that, did Dean know Jordan's wiring or he did not?
Yeah,
he did. So he did already. So Dean knew how to poke.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. And he's just trying to see. Because he wanted to say, okay, I know what this kid has. Now, how I just laid something out for him. First day of practice. Let's see where he takes it. All right. And then Michael's response, he ain't never played me. How could he be number one? And now people say things. Now, are they actually going to do it? The one thing all these individuals had after each championship, while everybody was celebrating, they would come and give me a hug and say, what's next? What's next? Because they're like, we can't come back the same. If we come back the same, winning is no longer going to greet us. I have a thing in the book where the bus takes you to the arena. Right? It says where it's going. You get on that bus, you win the championship, and then when you get back on that same bus after you've won the championship, the sign is changed. It doesn't say the destination to the hotel. It says this bus ride is back to hell. Because if you're not willing to take that ride, this will be your last win. Every single successful person, every single one that you've had, every single win, the next one's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit harder to get. You become more smarter, you become more educated, you know more, but you can't come back. You cannot come back the same individual, especially when you're trying to repeat at something that you've already won at. So to win the first Oscar, to win that second. What is it? Anthony Hopkins, it was 85. 85. I don't know when he won the one before that. He's
beast of a guy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But those things are just, they're so, and those are the things you look for in individuals. It's just like, what can I see in Game 6 after
Jazz?
No, this was with Kobe. Game 6, they lost to Boston. All right, and they're having dinner, and I've never worked for the organization, so there's certain things that I had to stay away from. So he's sitting there and he's having dinners with the coaches and the team, and then he's different individuals, and then I get a text to say come on down, and he's sitting down. Kobe and I were having this conversation. And this is already, remember, he's already won 3 championships. So this was going for number 4. And he sits there and he has this conversation with me, and he goes, "Man, I hit him with everything but the kitchen sink." And I looked at him, I said, "What the hell are you saving the sink for?"
Damn.
And he just gave me that mama glare. I said, how many times do people go through in life?
What a thing to say back to the guy. Why you? That's crazy to say that. Did his reaction to you get pissed at you, or was his reaction like, "You're right"? What's his reaction?
He didn't have to say a word.
Okay.
He didn't have to say. We were so in tune. He didn't have to say a word.
Got it.
The minute I saw that look, he knew exactly. He knew exactly.
Was he a "what do you think" guy? Was he a "what do you think" guy or no? Meaning, like, if something's happened to the game, hey, Tim, what do you think about the game I played today?
He would want the information, but the thing is, we would only discuss things that I saw that could have been done better. But these guys are so in tune to what they do before you even point out. They're already like, I already know, because their obligation to themselves is so much greater than anybody else's obligation to them. Mm-hmm. And they understand the difference between criticism and feedback. They know the difference between the two. And then basically the difference between the two is how you hear.
Well, this is what I would say, Vaughn. Actually, I ain't got nothing to say, because you're right. It is progressively harder. But I think the people that do the best are the people that adapt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
is it the level of sensitivity or a level of, so how much of it is, because sometimes you give feedback to a guy, they're too sensitive. Oh my gosh, you're right, I did this. Is it that, or is it, then there's certain people you give the feedback to, they're like, why would you say something like, no, it's not true, I don't agree with you. Or is it also the fact that the person has to 100% be a proven guy like you who knows what they're doing to take the feedback from them? Meaning Kobe. I'm sure he didn't take feedback from a lot of different people.
No, you can't take feedback from everyone. You just can't.
Very small circle of people.
Very small circle of people, and very small people who've actually delivered results. That have actually delivered results.
Were both guys that trusted easily or no?
No.
Neither one of them.
No, none of them trusted. They did not. They did not trust easily. They did not trust easily. All right, you had to earn their trust every single day. People always say, "Hey," they say, "You got to respect me." Well, I had to give them something to respect every single day. I had to work harder than they did.
Yeah,
I had to work harder than they did. I tell the story about early down in the MJ days of how I won and how I wanted to separate myself. When I first started with MJ, there was no Fitbit. There was none of this information. Mm-hmm. There was none of this information available. So how could I do something that I knew was right, that would bring me closer to winning, that would bring me closer to him to say, hey, I'm paying attention to the details. So I would go to the games. All right, and this is years ago, and I don't even know how many people in this audience are going to remember this, but there used to be a recording machine called a Betamax or a VHS machine where you actually had to put a tape in and it would record. So I would record all the games, all right, because when I'm at the game, I don't have time. I'm trying to watch.
Sorry, I was talking to my mama.
So the games would finish. By the time we got out of the locker room, it would be 10:30, 11 o'clock. Sometimes we'd go out to get a bite to eat. So I get home about 12:30. I have to rewatch the game because the workout next morning is either at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or 7 a.m. All right. I have to rewatch the game because I have to count his steps. I have to count. I have to count. I have to count his steps. Not only just count his steps. I got to know how many times he went right, how many times he went left, when he went backward. Did he land on left?
And how
leg?
are you using that? How are you using that for what? How is that intel giving you?
To plan the next workout. So I so if here it is, everybody when people go work out and they think about training, they're like, okay, I'm going to do 10 reps on one side and 10 reps on the other side. All right. Well, if during that game, he's going one way more often than he's going the other, I can't work out the legs the same. I can't work out the body the same.
Be kidding me.
You can't work out the same.
That's crazy.
Wow. You can't. And I'm doing this, and people were looking at me crazy. Well, why does he have a 15-pound dumbbell in one hand and a 30-pound dumbbell in the other hand? Or why does he have a basketball in one hand and he has a 40-pound dumbbell? And people were just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing over here?" And I'm like, this side of the body does not need the resistance that this side of the body does. Some days they may be equal, other days they may be different. One day we may only say, listen, we're only going to work this half of the body. We're only going to work this half of the body out. We're not even doing this half. This half is designated for recovery. This half is designated for a workout. All right. And those were the details that I paid attention to. And that's how I got, when I spoke, they paid attention. They paid attention to me. Winning didn't know my name. Winning doesn't know who the hell you are. Winning keeps its hands in its pocket. It's going to keep its hands in its pockets. You know why? Because it doesn't want to point to anybody who isn't worthy.
Tim, have you watched Tiger's documentary?
I have not seen it yet. I have not seen it.
So I think
you know what's crazy? Tiger Woods' name is Tiger, which is a type of cat, and he's born the year of the cat.
Get a kick out of it if you watch a documentary. So I watched the documentary, and I'm sitting there saying, wow, the role his father played in Tiger's life. I don't know if Tiger's Tiger without the father. You sit there and you think about something from 2 years old. So what if your dad's like,
good, Junior, thank you.
If Tiger's my kid, would Tiger be Tiger because of golf? Probably not. I'm not a golf guy. So you sit there and you think about some of these guys that get at the level that they get. How the mom pushed. People think dad was a disciplinarian. Tiger's mom was a disciplined one. Dad was a little bit more easygoing. You think about Michael, the story with his dad, where the one part in The Last Dance, he says, his dad's like, why don't you just go out there and do what you're doing? I'm going to go here with your brother. And his dad was kind of challenging him, playing some mind games with him. And he talked about it in The Last Dance, right? And Michael said, when you're going through it, it's very difficult. It's torture because you don't know what's really happening to you when someone's challenging you. I don't know the story about Kobe, who it was. Obviously, his father played, and I have that idea, but I don't know who, the role dad played. In a mathematical formula, you'll hear, Pythagorean theorem. If you take this and you take this and you take this equals this, right? If you want to make a bomb or if you want to make an explosive, you're in the military, you're a Navy SEAL. If you take this, you combine it with this, you combine it with this, it equals an explosive product that you're producing, right? If you want to make a milkshake, you take this, you combine this. Everything has a recipe. There's a recipe to the madness, specifically to the madness, not all the other stuff. If you were to take the recipe of a guy like a Tiger or a Kobe or a Jordan, I'm specifically talking about those who are not one of the best. I'm talking about the GOAT League we're talking about. Is there a weird family member that psychologically messed with you a little bit to challenge you? Is there a massive setback in life with a ton of pain? Is it someone you love so much that you want to make proud? Is it a massive public humiliation, where somebody embarrassed you? Is it the DNA of the individual? Because the same 4 kids could be from the same family, but only one of them ends up becoming. You have the same pretty much structure. How do you not come out of it in all 4 of them? What would you say from your experience, and I don't even know if you have the answer to this, but what would you say from experiences, the 1% of the 1% that people read about, people write about, people watch documentaries about? What separates those guys?
Everything that you mentioned. Everything that he meant. Obviously, listen, you're not going to be a great, if you don't have the genetics to be a great athlete, no matter how much training you do, you're never going to be able to reach that level. All right. That has a thing. That plays an important role, picking the right sport. you have to. There's always been an individual that's held you accountable when you're young. It could be a parent. It could be somebody that's like literally doesn't let you get away with things that pushes you, that forces you to do things. You look at the Williams sisters from tennis. They're, you know,
no question.
Yeah. There's always that individual. Yes, you've gone through some adversity. There's something there that you remember, and you just like that becomes that's your fuel. That's like something that you don't need anybody else to light that fire. That's what you're made of, and how you handle that. Because a lot of
Hold on. Somebody on Twitter just tweeted, "Is this bore recorded?" You small-minded fuck. The reason why it's boring to you is because you don't have the mental capacity to understand what this man is talking about. You mental fucking midget. You mental fucking midget. Of course you think this is boring. Because this language, what he's talking about, you can't even comprehend it. It's above your knowledge. It's above your mentality. The fuck is you talking about? Somebody said, "Fine, GG33." Bitch, I'm in gold. The fuck is you talking about? Dude, you late, bro. You're late, bro. You're late.
Individuals,
You're late.
When they go through that,
that
challenge, they go through that disappointment. Other people make it too easy.
Oh,
for them.
I was about to say, boy. I was about to go off on you, boy. He said it's a typo. Boy, I'm about to go off on you, boy. What you meant to say then?
Got him. We fucking.
What was the typo then? What you was about to say? What? I need to hold on, player. You said it's a typo. What was you? What did you mean to say? Sticks, yes, Sticks. I was once Sticks, yes. You forgot, huh? Yeah, brother, come on now. Don't come in here. Don't come in here trying to fucking troll me. Don't come in here trying to fucking troll me.
You know, because
real talk.
Parents are.
Let me tell you something. Real talk. This is a dragon. If you since you in numerology, this is a dragon. So, okay. So this is a dragon, all right? Tim Grover is a 5/5 dragon, Scorpio. And the reason why I'm playing this is because, bro, his mentality about shit, bro, it makes a lot of sense, bro. So I really think people should tap into this.
It is the comfort.
He said autocorrect got him, so I'm going to give it some grace. I was about, you saw the cat in me?
Winning in all its glory?
You saw the cat in me, boy?
It wants to see you suffer. It wants to know what you're made of. It needs to know that, because think about all your wins.
Kamala is a dragon. What you trying to say?
You get to visit them briefly. I know individuals that have won championships 12 years ago that are still celebrating those championships.
Damn.
All right. You look at your valuetainment numbers. All right. You look at your followers. You look at this. You know, I remember when, you know, you hit your how many years ago was it when you hit the million? I remember the whole the plat.
2 years ago. 2 years ago when we hit $1 million.
Okay.
2 years ago when we hit $1 million.
All right.
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
3 million.
Exactly. How brief was that? You're like, okay, great. I got to $1 million. I got.
Well, hey, add your name 642. Are you in gold? Are you in silver? Talk to me. What are you in? Or are you just
you did your little video. You did your thing. And now you're like, was there a big celebration at $2 million?
So is that it? No, it was not. We don't even remember celebrating 2 million. We're not even going to celebrate. So, but is it that? Like there's a story by Patty McCord, who was the former chief human resource officer for Netflix. She worked with Reed Hastings for 14 years. She says one day we had a meeting. Our CFO brought everybody into the room, and he brings Reed in and says, "Hey, guys, guess what? What's that? We just crossed 5 million subscribers at Netflix." And Reed's like, no way. Yes. He says, okay, awesome. And we're going to celebrate. He says, I'm going to go out there and get to 10 million. Everybody else was like, no, but we got to celebrate. He said, no, that's great. Awesome. I'm going back to 10 million. The stories. Is it a level of, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, okay, question came the other day about Trevor Lawrence being picked up as number one. And he says, whether I do this, my life is not just the NFL.
Look at Tim Grover
my
birthday.
life's big. I'm sure you follow the storyline.
Yes.
My life's not bigger than the NFL. And then say, well, he's not Brady. Brady would never say that, right? Okay, great. And then guys came back and says, I don't care if he said that or not. He's still going to kill everybody. Look at Eli Manning. He came out and he still won 2 championships, right? And then, look at Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky wasn't a guy that came up. Wayne Gretzky was just a master of his craft, and he just went up there and was a phenom, and he put up stats that's beyond anybody else has done in any sport. Sure. No one's even close. If you look at baseball, football, basketball, no one comes close to Gretzky's separation. So is there a lot of similarities between the great ones all together, or could somebody just be like, no, I'm just going to come and do the job and go out there, and it's cool, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to do my part, but I'm going to make it look easy, and I don't have to be like Mike, I don't have to be like Tiger, I don't have to be like the Williams, I don't have to be like these guys. I'm just going to come and win, and if we don't win a championship this year, it's cool, we'll do it again next year, but if we don't win, it's okay. Do you buy into what they're saying about Lawrence, or do you say no? To be a Brady, you have to be a psychopath, competitor, obsessive to want to kill the other guy.
I don't want to talk about people I don't know. I don't have a relationship with, and that I haven't studied. But if you look at all the individuals that you've named, if you were to put them all in the same room, if you were to all have them interview here, all in the same room, and you had a way to make their voices sound exactly the same, so you didn't know who was talking, all right, they would tell you the exact same thing. I couldn't tell if I was talking to MJ. I couldn't tell if I was talking to Kobe. I couldn't tell if I was talking to Wade. When you listen to Brady, I can't. There's things they say to the media, and there's things they say among themselves. And I've been fortunate enough to be blessed to be in those conversations.
See, that's the conversation.
To be in those to sit there and hear those conversations on a private plane with MJ, Tiger, Gretzky, Jeter, to sit there and then have them sitting together and just sit back and just listen.
Cameras off. They're just
cameras.
Talking.
They're just.
Oh my gosh!
And they're not talking. They are so freaking competitive. It's unbelievable. And like I said, if you monotone everybody, the brain patterns and the way they do things, the way they pay attention to details, the way they relax, the way they execute, the way they focus, it's across the board. That's the one thing they all have in common.
If a psychologist or a psychiatrist was sitting in a room with all those guys, what would they say mental disorders they have? They would call them what? A sociopath. They would you have every
single one. They'd have to come up with something new. they would actually have to come. They would be just like they're coming up with everything. There's a disorder for everything. They'd have to come up with something new, because first thing they would say, these people are different. Yes, and you know what different does? Different scares people.
Yep.
Different scares people.
Yep.
That's why everybody tries to fit in. All right. Winning requires you to be different. These individuals are different in the way they do things.
I want to read a story from the book. Okay, it's a pretty crazy story you got here in the book. And I have a feeling the audience is going to have the chills all over their body when I read this. So there are no points. Every one of them is number one, similar to Relentless. So I'm not going to be able to get any points, but this is one of the number one points, okay? So you say on page 103, winning wants all of you. There is no balance. Balance, is a very trending topic. People always want to say it's not healthy to not live a balanced life. It's not healthy to do this. But here's a story you tell. When my daughter was around 5 years old, she was watching me pack for a long road trip, and she asked, Daddy, why do you have to travel so much? This is how I take care of our family, I told her. I travel for my work so I can take care of you and Mom and put food on the table. She was quiet for a moment, and then she said the words that stung me harder than anything that has ever been said to me. If I eat less, can you stay home more? Holy freaking moly.
Damn.
Oh, dude, I read this. I was just kind of like shaken by it. My daughter, same age when you tell her she's about to turn 5 years old. How do you explain this to the average guy? It's like, well, that's why you should stay. That's why you shouldn't work that hard. That's why you shouldn't go after 10. What are you doing? Is that really a good father? Are you really doing the right thing? Are you wanting to go through the pain? Why don't you just kick back a little bit? Why don't you just relax a little bit?
And the next part of that, like I said, most people would be like, okay, the story would be, yes, I unpacked. I decided to stay. I kept packing. I kept packing. You need to be true to yourself. And here's the thing. I knew what she was asking. I knew what she was going through. But I had to be selfish during that time. And the only reason I had to be selfish during that time is because I had a path and a goal that I wanted her to be able to achieve and her to be able to see. And knowing that I had to make this sacrifice now for the benefit of what was going to deliver down the line.
For her
and
life.
If I couldn't deliver what I wanted to deliver down the line, it would actually be more detrimental to myself and to the family, and to my growth and to her growth, if I didn't complete what I was set out to complete.
Did she read this chapter?
She hasn't. I have not allowed them to read the chapter yet.
Really?
Yeah, I have
Is
not.
this the same daughter you're about to go visit, or is this the same daughter you're about to go visit? So, the topic of guilt. Okay, I want to spend a couple minutes talking about the topic of guilt. I made a video like 2 months ago talking about guilt because it messes with people. Last night, I'm at the Breakers. Guy comes up to me, says, Patrick, I got to talk to you, man. I got to talk to you. I said, what's that? He says, I'm a real estate developer. I'm killing it. I'm making millions. I'm doing so well for myself. I married my wife. She's my sweetheart. I'm 27 years old. I'm doing everything I can. But I got a 6-month-old daughter that just came, and I'm going through this and I'm going through that. How do you manage this? Because my wife is a stay-home mom and she's trying to take care of the kid, but at the same time, I feel like I'm overworking in real estate. I'm working all this stuff that he's telling me, right? In my mind, I'm listening to this guy and I'm asking myself, first of all, there is no right answer I can give this guy. You can't teach that. If you're asking it, whatever answer you give, the guy's already asking for permission to say what? He's just asking for permission is what he's doing, right? We're saying, hey, make me feel good that I work less and stay home and kick back and relax. I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, buddy. This is not a decision I make for you.
No.
This is a decision you're going to make, right? How do you process the concept of guilt with people who you get to a certain level and you're working hard? You're like, oh, I can compete with this level guys, and this is great, and I'm going to go to the next level. Then you go to the next level, like, okay, 6 months ago, yeah, I can beat these guys as well. And then you go to the next level and you're like, I don't know about this level. I think at this level, I'm okay being in the top 20%, but there's no, to be in the top 1% of this level, that guy does that guy does this guy does that. I'm backing off, right? Do you think that is a decision the individual has to make, or do you think that is a decision that somebody can be sold on by somebody else?
Most of the time, that decision, somebody else is sold on by somebody else. That your decision to stop.
The question I'm asking about the guilt side is the following. I'm asking, a guy's come in, he wants to be a killer, right? But he's hit the wall where he's experiencing similar guilt to the story you talk about in page 103, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So he's coming to you and he's saying, look, here's what I'm going through, Tim. You remember that story you said on 103? I'm kind of going through this. What do you think about this, that?
What do you think, bro?
The guy who's a Michael or a Kobe or this, he already knows. By the way, it doesn't mean it's not painful. It doesn't mean you're not going to have an emotional moment. It doesn't mean you're not going to cry about it. It doesn't mean you get into cry. But is it the individual's decision, or is somebody else going to sell you on, don't worry about it, go think big, go after it? Who makes that decision?
It's yourself. It's the individual decision. It's an individual decision. All right, listen. There's guilt that other people put on you. The worst guilt is you put on yourself. All right. Every single decision, there's so much guilt that people try to put. Not only are you working so much, why do you need to go work out? You're going to eat that? Why are you dressed that way? That's just people's way of laying guilt on you. All right. So people are going to be constantly laying guilt on you. It's the guilt you put on yourself. You make a decision to be, this is who I'm going to be. This is who I am. This is the person. This is the person. And these are the consequences that come with being this person.
How do you have that conversation? Guy asked me a question yesterday. I'm sitting there. Another guy comes, sits right next to my wife. We're having dinner at this place called Echo. And she asked, well, how do you deal with your husband that's working like this, all this other stuff? How do you have that conversation? But believe it or not, most people don't know how to have this conversation. Right. How do you have that conversation? Because many times if you don't have this conversation, this leads to marriage, this leads to issues with friends, with family, with mom, with dad, falling out, all this other stuff. From your experience, I haven't been around for a while. You got wisdom in this more than we do because you're the expert in this area. What is the right approach to take with the people you love the most? Your wife, your mom, your dad, your kids?
Have the conversation early, have the conversation often, but your results have to dictate what you're doing. That's it. If you tell somebody I need 90 days, you got 90 days to deliver. Don't turn 5 years later and say you didn't deliver in 90 days. If you say, hey, I need 5 years, this is where I'm going, you better deliver in those 5. I told Michael, I said I need 30 days. I need 30 days before you make any judgment on the training, anything that's going on. I need 30 days. 30 days turned into 15 years. All right. So when you tell those individuals those results have to not only benefit you, they have to benefit them. They have to benefit them. All right, and everybody thinks by benefiting them, it just means, from a financial standpoint. No, it's not. It's not only a financial standpoint. If you're putting in all this time now, all right, then when you do take that trip with the family and you do that, you're in that trip with that family. You're like you've earned that time. You've earned that time to be with them.
All right, y'all. Listen, I'm about to go celebrate my dad's birthday. The memorial. But I want y'all to sit and think about this. The video is called The Mindset of Winners, Lessons from Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan by Tim Grover. I want y'all to sit with this. I want y'all to think about this, and I want y'all to ask yourselves how you can apply this. All right. I'll be back tomorrow. All right.